So this time I'm just going to go over a couple of few quick tips that we can just use to improve our scene overall. So last time we looked at water bodies, and waters are cool, but after recording I messed about with it a bit more, and I was like, I wanted to add a sea to my outside, so I thought, you know what, let's record this as well as a few other things. So, body ocean is quite a nice one, depending on if you started making your scene already. What this does is anything within your spline will be sort of saved, any sort of sculpting you've already done, and gives the rest of it more of like an island sort of vibe. Remember, you can still add more spline points to this and tweak it and change it as desired. So depending on how much sort of progress you've made with your sculpting, that potentially looks quite nice. It gives it more of an island vibe, but it doesn't really work for me because I've sort of already had my plan. So I find it more useful just to add a water body custom down and just scale this up to, I don't know, 600. And this just fills in like the cracks a lot more, so I can take it up or down depending on like where I want my sort of water level. Now, in order to actually see my whole scene, I've just put myself on a hill so I can actually sort of see it at the start, see my ocean and whatnot. Can expand that even more if I wanted to, because it does have a bit of a drop off. And we've got a whole bunch more options in there about like if you want like sort of waves, how you want your waves. But anyway, moving on from that, I just put myself on this hill so I can see everything. Cool, everything's looking good. And what I'm going to do is, I want this hill just looks a bit generic, so I'm just going to go to landscaping. And what's quite nice is, first of all, like erosion is quite nice, gives you a little bit more of a sort of more natural look. Look at that, gives you a bit more of a sort of natural feel. But let me just Control Z that back to normal. But what I wanted to show you is with erosion, you can actually change your object. So here, and you can use your, like in Photoshop, if you use your square brackets as well, you can sort of touch these up and down. So if I start hammering like that in, you can see how it sort of paints that pattern in, which is sort of funky. Probably not necessarily what we want, but we can actually change this as well. Do we have a noise pre-built in here? No, but what we could do is if we made like a noise texture, which we could probably just grab one off the internet real quick. So let's just go in here, noise texture. There's loads of websites for making these, but just for the sake of this test, I just want to grab one. That's quite funky. And again, depending on which you pick, it's going to have sort of like a different effect. I'm just going to take that one, save image. Where's my save image up? Save link. Copy image. Why won't you let me save link as copy link? Save image. I'm just going blind. Noise. Cool, let's import that noise, and I'm just going to drag it into there. And now, when I paint, it's going to give it a bit more of a sort of like natural shoveled look. Look at that, it's so a bit funky. But if I hold Shift as well and touch it, or just switch to my smooth tool even, I can soften that down a bit as well. So there was too much softening, just a touch. There you go. So now I can still walk over it where it looks a little bit more natural in the design. Two more quick things. I'm going to exit landscape mode, and I'm going to hold Control. I'm holding right Control. I'm holding left L, sorry. And you see this gizmo pops up. Let me get a better view. Think of this as sort of like controlling the time of the day. So if you wanted a bit more of like a natural sort of sunset, this sort of controls where your sun angle's coming from. So find something that's going to be a little bit more cinematic for yourself. There we go, that's looking a bit more interesting. Let's also add a quick bit of fog. Just put it in sort of the start place. We can sort of control stuff in there, but for example, I like to turn on volumetric fog as well. And let's increase that fog density. Oh, I'm doing that, but we've already got fog in the scene, so I'm just going to remove that fog. Come back to this fog. And you can see by toggling the eyeball off and on it, we can control how dense that is. By setting to local as well, gives it a little bit more of a depth. Like you notice it more once you start adding lights to your scene. So I'm just pressing L and left clicking it. Yeah, you'll have a bit more option with that. But yeah, mess about with your fog a little bit. Where's my volumetric options gone? You can actually override that by typing in. Like so, typing in 1, and now suddenly we're playing Silent Hill 2. So add a little bit of fog to your scene. You can even change the colour of said fog, should you wish to. Let's lower that down a bit, that's a bit much. Cool, there we go, a little bit more cinematic. Hides the rendering distance a bit too. And yeah, I'd say for now that's probably enough tweaks. Also that's too high. Let's lower that even more. So my grass is properly glowing green, but I don't really mind too much. I'm actually going to change that shortly. Yeah, that'll do. I want to make some tweaks to the bird logic as well at some point. Have them deleting themselves and spawning less. I guess I'll probably make that a different video, seeing as this one's a bit more about editing your environment. And cool. A couple more options there, just to tweak and refine your settings. Let me turn that back down a bit. Okay, it's better at 0.2. It hides the edge of the world a lot more. Cool. Okay, hopefully you found some of those tips useful, and I'll do it.